was working from home at the time, and that's when I saw this beat up old car with rusted wheel wells, and something about it just made me uneasy. I noticed the police are now patrolling the neighborhood. Now that was unusual. We sat down to watch some Netflix for the evening and found that we couldn't get anything to work. The internet was connected, but the speed was non-existent. Nothing would load, only spinning buffer circles. A couple of calls to friends, to customer service, and nobody had an answer. We tried resetting the router, and that worked, but only for a minute. Something was definitely weird and off. I kept glancing out the window. That's when I saw them out there again, an unmarked police cruiser. Whatever was going on, it was serious this time. Could that have been what knocked out the internet? I decided I'd try my internet again, but when I connected, I found that it was still not working properly. It said connected, but I couldn't access any websites or send messages. As a last-ditch option, I unplugged everything, let it sit for a while, and then when I plugged it back in, I reset the network and changed both the name and the password. For some reason in the moment, I thought this might help. As this was all going along, I just happened to take a look outside, and there, I saw that dingy piece of crap car. I knew it had to be involved in what the hell was going on. 2 houses with no internet, police patrolling at all hours. It sounds like a straight-up conspiracy, I know. I finished up my network stuff and hopped on my phone, which still worked without Wi-Fi. Just then, there was a heavy knock at our door. I hesitated, feeling a sense of dread. Slowly make my way to the door and open it, to find a disheveled young man walking away from my entryway. "Hey, wait, what'd you need?" He turned back and his eyes were sunken and skin pale. "Why'd you do that?" He then stopped in place and kept his beady little eyes on me. Do what? "Why'd you do that?" he asked again, but this time he almost screamed it. Still, I'd never seen him before. I've never dealt with him. He shook his head and walked away. As I watched him disappear into the distance, I realized that I was definitely out of my element with all this. The police were trying to pinpoint a person they were building a case against. His name was Kevin or Keith, something like that, and he was a newly displaced COVID refugee, homeless and half out of his mind. The thing about Kevin was that he was a techie, and he had an overflowing well of knowledge on computers and computer science. Kevin had been driving around the Midwest, bumming internet here and there. It started with coffee shops and random stores, gas stations, really anywhere without an unprotected link. Some of these networks blocked access and permissions though, so Kevin got pretty good at routing these firewalls and restrictors. Over time, with prolonged drug use and a dwindling relationship with reality, Kevin started going down all kinds of rabbit holes of conspiracy. He wanted to use private networks because Kevin was looking at crazy shit on the dark web, conspiracy stuff, and mountains of illegal images. I don't even want to say what kind. That's when he landed on our street. No one knows why he came here or where he came from or what his actual plan was. The guy was using uppers every chance he got, mostly pills. He had a prescription, but also had meth in his car. Kevin had worked his way through 3 states just to do drugs and steal internet, while parked out in front of my house.